Welcome! It's a great day to be a miner. In today's video, we're gonna upgrade the battle station right behind me. Let's stop gabbing, let's spin that intro. Hey, Future Alter here with an altered future. I just want to give you a quick update. It is Cyber Monday and we are updating our Amazon store to include a whole bunch of the best Cyber Monday deals. Anything that I would buy that I think is a particularly great deal, I'll have on the store, so feel free to check that out. Now let's get back to the video. Alright, so here we are. We've got our system taken down. We've got it moved over onto our workbench here. And this is the Lian Lancool 2 mesh case. It's got some custom RGB fans in there. It's got a sweet double helix water cooler that's in there just for effect, not actually water cooling. It currently has an Arctic 240mm AIO up in the top for the CPU, and we're going to swap that out to a 280mm because of course we need a little bit bigger because we're going to a bigger CPU. Currently it has a Ryzen 5600 in there. We're going to move up to a Ryzen 5600x. In the GPUs, we have an RTX 3080 Founders and an RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition. And this is the main battle station, the main workstation. It's where I do my editing. It's also where I have this thing mining quite often and a lot of the time. Inside it, we have a 1 terabyte Sabrent Rocket M.2, and then we have some other storage and non-essentials. It has 32 gigabyte of 3200 megahertz memory in there right now, RAM rather, and we're going to upgrade it to 64 gigabyte of the Corsair Vengeance Pro. So we're going from 3200 to 64 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz. So we're going to get a good upgrade there, and it's going to make our editing a lot easier. And so yeah, those are our main swap, 3 different main components, and we're going to do it all at once. And then I didn't mention the board. It is just an ASUS TUF B550 Plus gaming motherboard inside of there as well. So yeah, that basically is our build, and that's what we're going to swap out. But before we actually go into the swap out, what I did was I just took some quick pictures of where everything was plugged in to make it a lot easier so that stuff doesn't have to re-recognize when I plug it all back in. And that's just a quick tip whenever you're rebuilding. Just take some pictures of your stuff beforehand. If you're not sure where cables go, take a picture as you disassemble. It'll make your life a lot easier in the reassembly portion. And next, before we even get building, I highly suggest to go ahead and clean this thing out. There's a lot of dust on this guy. It doesn't take long for dust to accumulate, especially with an open window, because I have that giant window fan. And if you haven't seen that fan and that installation in my main office mining cave, make sure to check out the video up above where I do the full install. It's the Air King. It's a massive beast of a fan. We are on the 2nd floor, but it still brings in a lot of dust. To blow this thing out, this is the best thing for a miner and a computer enthusiast to have. This is the Xpower A-2, and I've done a video about this a long time ago, but this thing is massive power in a small container, and these things only run about 50 bucks. It's a blower. It has a high speed and a regular speed and a high speed, and it has a little filter on the bottom where you can clean out the dust. I think I need to clean off the foam dust on this thing before I fire it up again. And then I'm just going to blast as much dust as this out of this as I can, and then we're going to bring it back in. We're going to take out the cooler. We're going to take off, we've already taken off the glass panels. We'll take out the AIO. We'll go ahead and pop all the RAM out. We'll replace the RAM. We can't even replace the RAM without taking the cooler off anyway. So we'll take the cooler down, replace the RAM, go ahead and replace the CPU and fit the new cooler in there. And then, yeah, we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get rolling.
Another heading slowly, a child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their bombs. In your head, they are fighting. In your another mother's breaking, heart is taken.
All right, real quickly, I wanted to show the size difference in these guys. There's quite a bit of difference here. One's a 280, one is a 240, just in the weight alone. So the thickness looks about exactly the same, but height and length are the difference, and it's quite a bit heavier, a lot more rad in this 280 here. So let's see if I can turn it around, get a good view without breaking anything. So there's a 280 on top and a 240 underneath. Quite a bit of difference in size. So yeah, we're definitely upgrading, getting a lot more cooling surface in this radiator. So that's what we're putting in.
Another heading slowly, a child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their bombs. In your head, they are fighting. In your head. heart is taking over. When the violence causes silence, we must be mistaken. It's the same old team since 1916. In your head, they still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are guided. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head?
All right, we finally got it all installed, got it all set up. Ran into a huge problem. First of all, this mounting mechanism was slightly different than the old version. This is a Rev 4 280 millimeter. This is an older, I don't even know what Rev it is, 240. This was the 280. And the mounting was slightly different here and definitely different. It used different brackets to hold into the socket. So that was my first hang up. I had to go back and look all that up. And then after I get this all nice and installed, I go to put in my big new rad and it will not fit up top. It is hitting the RAM. It would not clear the RAM. So I backtracked and went back to the perfectly good 240 millimeter AIO, and I'm not going to be pushing that CPU super hard anyway. I'll just do a light overclock across the cores and that'll probably be it. I'm not using a ton that's CPU intensive, so for that 5600X and a 240 millimeter really good AIO should be plenty. The next thing is we're going to hook it up and we're going to hope that everything works just fine. An important note is to always check to make sure the motherboard is compatible with whatever series CPU. This says that it is 5000 Ryzen compatible right out of the box, so that you really shouldn't have to do the BIOS upgrade. Now, if it was an older board, you may have had to upgrade prior to CPU swap, or you won't even boot into BIOS because that CPU won't read. So if you have like an old motherboard and you're trying to go from 3000 up to 5000 series Ryzen, it may not work until you update the BIOS. So you may get it all together and you plug it in and then it just does nothing. And I'm hoping that this one's fine. I know I had updated the BIOS a long time ago and it comes Ryzen 5000 compatible out of the box. So fingers crossed, let's hook it up. Well, there you have it. Upgrade successful. We have jumped up to a 5600X. We've got now 64 gigabytes of really great RAM in this PC. And of course, we've upgraded our CPU AIO to a 280 millimeter from the 240 that was previously installed. If you're new to mining or you need some assistance, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. There's always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. And if you like the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride.